is just fantastic.
Captain's Log. Subdate 210201.3. We, Ensign Spoon and I, are in the process of formulating a plan of attack on the Suliban Helix. My plan involves a lot of annihilation of the Suliban Helix, but Ensign Spoon believes there may be a better solution. I am not open to this. Right, so, yeah. Should we get comfortable? Yes. Okay. Today I thought we would talk about TikTok, in what I'm going to charitably call TikTok Inventive or Insulting Trends, or, for short, TIT. With this, we get to go over the past and a more recent, because this will then allow us in the future to not have to recap again all the controversies when it comes to TikTok. For those that don't know, TikTok took over from Musical.ly, which took over from Vine. Where Vine and TikTok, though, differ greatly is that the window for creativity and, of course, by extension, controversy is far different. Vine, the clips being a lot shorter, it's harder to cause controversy. That's not to say they didn't, only that with the window being much smaller, it was a lot harder. On TikTok, well, it's where those aspiring social influencers like to go. And with that, I created one. I thought perhaps I'd put some skits over there, maybe pounce on the odd meme and or trend. By all means, give me a follow. I, of course, want your attention. Hello. The resounding majority of controversies on TikTok stem from the current generation of young'uns, trying to either start a trend, like the DV one that James Charles pounced on, showing off makeup skills to resemble that of a victim of domestic violence. The skills were on point, but the trend was a tad classless. And the arguably as well-known trend, Holocaust, where people would pretend they had gone through it, because they are aspiring actors. Yo, there is one other, called the Randonauting. Now the way this played out was, people were given a series of numbers from a random number generator called the Randonautica. People would then go to those coordinates and investigate the claimed synchronicities and coincidences. This flourished during lockdown, and that particular hashtag garnered over 700 million views. One, though, got a bit of traction because it involved a group of people finding a suitcase in a nearby beach. Yeah. That was, not money. It didn't smell like money. It was, human remains. Can't really blame them for finding it. I mean, it did open up an investigation into 2 dead people, with those 2 people's landlord being charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. The other side of this, as far as controversies go, we can go to TikTok themselves. Let's not forget here they are a Chinese company. When it comes to data handling, oh boy, if Beijing ordered them to give them information, they would have to comply. Remember, human rights in China is an oxymoron. We also can't forget that TikTok, like any other site, has a form of censorship. And these cause controversies in and of themselves because it causes some that are quite talented to be buried. For example, those who are disabled. It has been a long-held argument that those that are disabled because they're disabled are not being promoted even though they are arguably more talented. There are many of the influencers that are at the top. Their terms of service, by definition, are hinky. There's more to that one. I'm sure many of you have read them. It's like apples. I'm sure many of you just skipped it. Also, there is a recurring issue when it comes to use of unlicensed music. Many consider TikTok to be that of a reshaping of the way people listen to music. Some songs that were kind of meh have been thrust into global acclaim because they found fame on the app as a meme of some kind. In April 2020, the National Music Publishers Association had threatened to take TikTok to court for copyright infringement. Universal Music has been in talks with TikTok since early 2019, but failed to reach an agreement over the use of songs and that meant that songwriters like Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift were unable to receive royalties when their music were used in TikTok videos, which there is a very clear argument over. And I'm very surprised many of those songs are still played on the platform. However, when a lawsuit seemed inevitable, TikTok blinked. And now because of it, when music that is copyright owned crops up in a TikTok video, the songwriter is paid their royalties. A number of countries have over the years also threatened to ban it. Australia was one in late 2019 because people were not best impressed at how Scott Morrison had handled the bushfires, because Scott Morrison had taken his family on a 6-day holiday to Hawaii. Because of the ridicule, Morrison declared that the Australian government were launching an investigation into TikTok and that they were considering shutting it down. The US, by the way, had also threatened to shut it down. Trump had tried because of data protection and collection. So the American wing was being negotiated to be owned by, I believe, Microsoft, which led to the creation of TikTok Global, which is part owned by Oracle and Walmart. 4 of the company's 5 board members would be American, and the 5th would be for the ByteDance founder Zhang Yiming. The data collection allegations, by the way, are not something that anyone takes lightly, and is not exclusive to that of the US. Many countries around the world have accused TikTok of this. It was only Trump that was willing to push this button, and I'll be honest, rightly so. The last and more notable, by the way, controversy of TikToks was for blocking users that called attention to the communist concentration camps in China. Who'da thunk it? China can't handle criticism. Sounds like every commentary YouTuber who can't handle a little flack for their poor decisions. So why do I mention this all now? Why have I given you a history lesson? The reason I've given you the history lesson is because if this perhaps evolves into a, let's say, mini-series, irregular one at that, I don't want to have to go back and revisit all of that. I want to use it as a foundation for the series of tit. And the I can either be inventive or insulting. It's entirely up to the watcher, the digester of the information. Oh, and because somebody very recently tried something called the level crossing stunt, which was this. There are influencers who have gone out of their way to try and take profound pictures of things on Instagram. It's not anything new. They take a picture of them looking out at a wonderful, miraculous, beautiful vista. And we're sat there like, oh wow, what a beautiful view, they must be deep in thought. When anyone else with an IQ over 2 is thinking, I bet the moment that photo was taken, they jumped up to go and make sure it was in focus. And then they hopped onto Photoshop, just to make sure it was perfect. Has anyone seen Floyd Mayweather's Instagram? Yeah, that trash. I'd much rather watch somebody look like they're really concentrating on a really greasy burger. That, to me, is at least real. So as you saw in the video, the level crossing stunt was a little bit of a, dumb thing to do. Now, it is worth noting, the Bromley Cross in Bolton, the line that was taken on, is a very quiet line. However, if others try to take part in this in any other place, they could very well end up doing that on a line that is nowhere near as quiet. And at the same time risk getting hit, because if they're stupid enough to park on live lines, chances are they wouldn't know which one was the live one. Oh, and, they probably didn't bother to check the timetables, which I would also point out isn't a guarantee that no train will go past, because some do actually go by for other reasons. Understandably, the Manchester Piccadilly, the MAN Network Rail, noticed this, put the video after retweeting Great Little Railways on their Twitter, and alerted the local police, who have escalated it. The funny part about this is that it also proves to me how stupid some people are when they're desperate for a bit of attention, either for clout and or clientele, is that the person who put that video out, the original one that is on TikTok, linked back to their actual Facebook, a photography account. What an absolute moron. Hell, their TikTok name is the same as their Facebook page. You have to be a special level of precious to beg attention by risking encouraging others to do the same stupid thing you've done with a caption that is hardly indicative of anything but encouraging others to do that. You colossal melt. When the police investigate this and you end up in a bit of trouble, I sincerely hope the slap on the wrist you'll get along with the fine is issued by a taser. Mostly because I think it'd be very funny and I'm sure you'd get another absolutely barnstorming photograph. With this, I'd like to know what you all think. So please do let me know in the comments down below if you'd like me to do more videos when it comes to TikTok trends, inventive and or insulting, tit. Please let me know, and I'll see about making this into something in the future. If I don't see you on Twitch tonight, have a fantastic Monday and thank you all for listening.